hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And the Geico restarts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
We're getting down to the wire. It's crunch time for our drivers here tonight as Week 8 of the Lincoln Tech Fall Series comes to a close with the Invets Xfinity Series right here, right now on V-Speed. As always, we have to thank our sponsors for allowing us to put this show on for you tonight. Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans. Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. And Safe 22. Struggling? Let's talk. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Blinky. Here alongside me is Ken Huber. We've got Eddie Smith in the production booth and the talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's cameras.
Man, it is awesome being here tonight in New York at Pocono, one of my favorite tracks, Jacob. And man, we had an exciting race last week at Kansas, didn't we?
Yes, we did. It was one of the best shows of the season, but I think you might have pulled something I did earlier. We're not in New York. We're in Pennsylvania, my friend.
Pennsylvania, yeah. Well, it's all East Coast, all you East Coast guys out there. You know what I mean. Sorry about that for you, Pennsylvania fans. Anyway, last week, what I was getting ready to say is back there at Kansas, I think I got that track right. Wesley Burke got a first win of the season. Somehow, 10 laps to go or 9 laps to go, he just pulled out like a rocket ship. So got his first win on the season as the points battle is starting to shape up.
Yes, sir. And as we take a look at our points for tonight, we're getting down to the wire. We got 3 races left, including tonight. Mark Whitley still looking for that first win on the season. Cofield and McWhorter locked in. A lot of drivers are still fighting off towards the cut line. Judson Curtis and Kyle Deering down tied on points with only a few more over Wesley Burke. So it's getting close. It's getting close.
Definitely, and these guys, like I said, at halfway point at the season, they definitely need to make up, try to get those wins in if they can, and not have to depend on being in that top 12.
Yep. And as we went through our point standings, let's take a look at what they're going to be dealing with tonight. This week, we make a stop at arguably the most unique track on any schedule. Nestled in the heart of the Pocono Mountains is the notorious Pocono Raceway, a 2.5-mile tri-oval in the most literal sense. With 3 distinct corners modeled after the well-traveled tracks at Trenton, Indianapolis, and the Milwaukee Mile, knowing how to run all 3 will get you a good result at the tricky track.
Most definitely. And this track favors road course drivers as well. One thing I noticed, was able to get out there and do some practice laps with these guys earlier. And, at least they won't have to shift tonight in these cars. It looks like they'll stay in fourth gear. I know when you're running in the next-gen car, you find yourself shifting. And back in the day, we used to do a lot of shifting, both in the trucks and these cars. So not tonight, but very fast lap times. We're looking at lap times in the 53s currently.
Yep, and looking at it, I like the idea of having a track with 3 different turns like this. It's like kind of like a best of both worlds situation, but with all 3 now. Like, you got Indianapolis is turn 2. A lot of people that are like better at Indianapolis are going to have an advantage going through there because it's one of the 4 corners that are there. Trenton, a lot of people aren't going to have too much experience with, but we do have some guys that do have a lot of experience with the mile tracks and the Milwaukee Mile. And if you're good at certain types of tracks, it's going to benefit you at different parts of this track.
Yeah, and another thing, I talk about drivers with road course skills here at Pocono, but another track that is very similar is Indy. A lot of times you can bring your Indy setup here and vice versa, and very similar racing style to Indy. Flat track where you run wide open on the straights and very fast corners here. And, the car will get a little free as tire wear happens or a little tight depending on what corner you're in. So going to be some exciting racing tonight for sure.
Yep, we got about a minute left here in qualifying, and taking a look at the one of the cars on track right now. We've got I apologize. That's the 35 of Samuel Joseph in the Genuine Draft car, rounding his way into turn 1. Yep, back on the gas as he makes his exit. Doesn't clip the wall, making sure to keep it straight, as close to that wall as he can to maximize his entry into turn 2.
Yeah, as he rounds through this very fast corner here into turn 2, setting up for turn 3, which is a very big sweeper here, very flat going into turn 3. We'll see how he does it here. Heavy on the brakes here. Want to try to get that rear end turning a little bit so you can carry the rear end around and keep the car from getting too tight in this corner and exiting up towards the wall.
Yep, you got the markers there to help you out. You got the curbing there in turn 3 that gives you a good guide on where to be. And his lap just then looks like it's going to put him in P16 as of right now. So he may be coming around for another one to try and pull himself back up.
Yeah, I think qualifying might have just ended here. So we'll have to check and see where everybody grids out.
All right. And as we get ready to grid, we give out our Jam Printing Promotions Pole Award to someone that is probably running out of shelf space. Mark Whitley in the 77 with a 53.6 puts himself on pole. His teammate Joseph McWhorter puts himself P2. Logan Sturgeon in the 26 rolls off in 3rd, with Charles Abert in the 4th. Justin Ackerman, a name we haven't heard too much, is in 5th in the 28. Wesley Burke, last week's winner, in P6. Barrett Morton in the 9 rolls off P7, with Craig Bontrager, another top dog in this series, in P8. Jamie Libke rolling off P9th, and Kyle Deering in the 50 rounds out your top 10.
Sean Warrup will start in the 11th position with Stephen Davis on his outside in 12th. Tyler Rice will start in the 13th position with George Jewell on his outside in 14th. Devontae Drain will start in the 15th position with Samuel Yosef on his outside in 16th. Brandon Wallace will start in the 17th position with Aaron Yancey starting on his outside. Brock Price will start in the 19th position with Kyle Steinbacher in 20th.
21st is going to be Colton Sisk. 22nd will be the 90 of Dave Calbert. 23rd will be Frederick Seagraves Jr. And in the 57 of Cody Turner is in 24th. 25th will be Kevin Price. Wyatt Dooling rolls off in P26. Armando Melgoza in 27th. We were looking at Judson Curtis in 29th. He did not take a time. Nick Reed following up shortly after in P30. Claire Sisk in 31st. And Gary Wright rounds out your field in 32nd.
Whew. Glad we got that first part over with there, Jacob. So, hey, let's take a look at the race analysis here tonight. So this is what these guys are going to be looking at for Pocono tonight. 45 laps here Looking at about a fuel range of about 30 laps. So we'll see these guys will have to at least make one stop tonight. Got a pit road speed of 55 miles an hour with 4 sets of tires available. 2 green, white checker attempts with 100% fuel, and everybody's racing the same setup here tonight.
Here's my question. You had some time running these cars. I think somebody on the inside line there is having a little bit of trouble getting going. You had a little bit of experience getting practice with these cars. If you run, say, 10 laps and get a caution, are you coming in for tires?
Maybe, maybe not. It just depends on what everybody behind you is going to do. It just depends on where you're on the track. That's actually a very good question. I didn't really think about. But with 4 sets of tires, it might be wise to do that. But it's going to also track position plays a big role here at Pocono. And if you get too far back in the pack, it's very hard to work your way up to the front. So you want to try to maintain that track position.
Yep, and this is, for all intents and purposes, a drafting track when you get to these massive straightaways, the backstretch being one of the longest we'll ever encounter here in Goat Locker. I can't imagine tire wear would play too much of a factor outside of the drafting portions of it, but going through those turns, you're going to want some fresh rubber to get an advantage of the guys in front.
Most definitely. Here in the Xfinity cars especially, the front end, you will wear out the right front, and it'll make a lot of these turns very difficult about halfway through the run. And you'll start to see guys start to wash up the track towards the end of the runs. As they're going through the final corner here, we're about to turn the pace car back into pit lane and get these guys green flag racing.
Yes, sir. It's been a long time coming. The pace car leads them out of turn 3, getting ready to pull down the pit lane, and once again we are rolling, green flag in Long Pond.
And there you can see the 71 there, Mark Whitley and his teammate McWhorter going side by side down the front stretch, headed towards turn 1, and everybody side by side. And we are under caution.
Yep, yellow at the beginning of this one. It looks like Colton Sisk may have gotten some help getting around there on the front stretch. We're going to take a look at this one. He's got some contact. Yep, the 59. That is Frederick Seagraves. Colton Sisk ended up making some heavy contact with the inside wall, having to tow. And unfortunately, that is not the way that you want to start this race.
Okay, we're riding along with Frederick Seagraves Jr. here, one of our race winners. Right along with him as he's behind. You can see that they usually see the cars fan out here, but that's not the case on this start. You can see him trying to push them up front. They're trying to push these cars up and just maybe got into the back a little too hard. There was a little bit of a checkup there and sent that car into the wall.
Looks like Colton tried to get behind Brock Price as they were jumping a little bit further to the inside, and Frederick wasn't anticipating that checkup. Just kind of sent them around into the inside wall. But we got a little bit of a cool down here as everybody was just getting ready to get going. We hadn't even hit turn 1 yet.
Yeah, we didn't get any heat in those tires yet, so you can see the 2 teammates headed back towards the start finish line trying to catch up to the pace truck here, and we will rack and stack once again. But this is a very long track, 2.5 miles long, and it's going to take these guys a while. They're coming up to the back of the pace truck now, but yellow flag caution laps here do take a while.
Yes, sir. And because we got some of these longer pace laps, I'm thinking that we can probably take some time to. We're going to take a little extra time tonight to thank our sponsors, and one that I want to get out of the way right now and get it up front for everybody to see would be our Warrior Spotlight. Here's to our latest Warrior Spotlight and 12th Sim recipient, John Lawless. John served in the United States Air Force for 22 years as a hydraulic maintainer. He completed 5 deployments to Korea, Iraq, Sicily, and Turkey. He worked on multiple platforms like U-2, HH-60G, and HC-130J. We are proud to have John as a member of the GLR family, and indeed he has been very active and very vocal. He's shown off a lot of the work he's done on some of his paint schemes, and we're very happy to have somebody as worthy as him to come in and experience the community that we have here.
Yeah, and I've been watching him in Discord too. He's not afraid to get in there with the memes, giving us in the GT3 series a hard time today. I seen too on Discord. So very active in the community already, and it's very delightful to see.
Yes, sir.
Well, here we go. So we're going to have at least one more lap under the caution flag here. See the 77, Mark Whitley, is going to lead him back to the green flag with McWhorter on his outside. Logan Sturgeon will start in that third position where he began the race. Charles Abert in fourth, and Justin Ackerman rounds out your top 5 so far, and that's how we will reset them.
Yep, we aren't even doubled up yet. Pace car still has the lights on. So I have a question for you, and we haven't done this in a few races. Who is your pick to win this race?
Oh, well, I don't want to, I could always go with Whitley. I can go with McWhorter, but don't want to take the easy way. I want to see an underdog get this one. I'm looking at Bontrager's been strong. He's sitting there back in 7th right now. He's going to restart this in 7th anyway. In fact, on the YouTube chat, there's a fanboy for Bontrager in there too. So I think I'm going to go with Bontrager. So figure out who called out Bontrager on YouTube. That was Nathan Fox. So Nathan Fox is also a fan of Bontrager.
Yep, Nathan Fox is a name that's been around for a little bit. He acts as Bontrager's spotter in a lot of the races he participates in, so it's very good to see some good team camaraderie there. My pick is going to be a little bit out of left field. My pick tonight is going to be, if I can find him on the list here, it's going to be the number 52, Devontae Drain. And I want to take a moment to explain exactly why. I really like his paint scheme. He's got he's running the number 52 Camry right now. If we're able to take a look at the cameras that we have up. Yes. Thank you very much. This is one of the greatest things that I've ever seen. Coming out a little bit early for Halloween, putting on his Halloween costume. Looks like he's on track racing as the driver formerly known as Prince here.
I wonder if he killed a zebra for the liner of that robe he's wearing. So that's an interesting color combo he's got there. So it's going to be fun watching him. He's got the coolest name out there, and so I'm always a fan of Devontae Drain. So I like your pick.
Yes, sir. He's already up to P17, so I think he's going to be. If he keeps it clean, I think he's got a shot at it.
And that's what you need to do here at Pocono. So, I don't know. Hopefully we got those jitters out of the way. When I did test the car earlier today, it was a fairly stable setup. It wasn't really loose. It does get tight at the end of a run when you start burning the fuel off in that right front. So, hopefully these guys can get it together and we can get some green flag racing in, because I think this is going to be a darn fine race tonight if we can get this going.
Yes, sir. Wrapping it back around through turn 3. Pace car pulls off, and we are back in the restart zone. Mark Whitley leading them back to green.
Mark Whitley gets a big jump there on the inside, and he's going to take, looks like Logan Sturgeon with him, so looks like McWhorter's going to have to battle Logan going into turn 1. Logan's got the advantage here going into 1.
Yep, Logan wrapping down a little bit further inside, gets the advantage off of McWhorter into the corner, lines out in front, able to get behind Whitley. Still about 4/10 back, trying to sniff that toe to try and get himself back up toward him.
Yeah, you can see the wind coming off these cars. Just knocked that camera behind the safer barrier there, and just got a peek through the window there. As now we got McWhorter going by the inside now, taking that position back away from Logan Sturgeon.
Yeah, pushing already. We got cars to the inside. They keep it straight. That is the 06 of Tyler Rice getting involved with, it looks like, the 55 of Sean Warab. Very close call exiting turn 2.
Well, they hold on to it. We're going to go back and look at this again, see exactly what happened. You can see Sean back there in that yellow 55 machine back there, goes into turn 2, I want to say this. Oh, no. There he goes. Got a little bit of contact there with the Valvoline car, and they get hooked up and just can't get away from each other there on the front stretch, and they clean it up. I want to say that's the exit of 1, though.
Yeah. I need a map for most of these tracks anyway. We're looking at Wesley Burke trying to challenge on the 28 of Justin Ackerman. This is for the 4th spot. Burke getting a good run out of turn 2, using that toe, trying to get up to the back of them before they hit turn 3. Dives to the inside, rolls that yellow line, not quite getting onto that curb. and continues to roll the inside as Ackerman uses the momentum to pull himself back out into fourth.
Yeah, and being that these tires are still fresh, that allows that car on the outside to get a run off the corner. But that won't be the case in about 10 laps. It's going to be very hard for a car on the outside to have the advantage. But right now, that's where you want to be, and he's able to hang on to that position.
Yep, everybody wanting to start pushing tight once we get to a certain point in the tire life. Everybody more often, or more than anything, everybody's single file. We see Aaron Yancey back there with someone else just trying to barely run the inside. Everybody kind of shuffling out single file, getting in everybody's wake and making sure that we get a little bit further into this run.
Well, we're looking at the 20 right now. He's battling the car. That's Aaron Yancey right now. Looks like he's got that position made on Brandon Wallace there. So Aaron Yancey, move him up a position, and he's going to clear that car.
That gives him the 15th position over Brandon Wallace. Frederick Seagraves might be looking for a move into turn 1 here shortly. Yeah, he does. He jumps down to the inside, tries to get to the inside around the 99, wrapping that yellow line as much as he can, rolls around it. Wallace diving back to the inside for a run on the backstretch.
Yeah, and it looks like Wallace, they're on the inside as they go ahead towards turn 2. Wallace has got the advantage here. He can get that 99 hooked up on the bottom and kind of get that rear to rotate around. He will take that position back as they go through 2.
Yep, and they make the exit of turn 2. Good on board from Frederick Seagraves right here, getting a good run on the exit of turn 2. Wallace still to the inside, having that preferred line through 3. Seagraves wrapping the higher line. You can run higher earlier on in a run, but the low line is definitely preferred. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. And right now it might already be suffering because Seagraves couldn't quite hang on to that, had to tuck in behind that 99 of Wallace. And as they head into 1 and trying to use that toe, he'll have to restack this and see if he can make another run at it. But and there he goes on the inside. Oh, they touch. Oh, that could have been big right there. Brandon Wallace shoved to the outside. Seagraves is going to go under him.
I don't think Wallace is going to be too happy about that, especially since they brought Steinbacher into this conversation as well. Seagraves goes to clear into turn 2. Steinbacher jumping to the inside of Wallace to 2 as well.
Yeah, and it looks like that 62 backed out. Just said, Wallace a little bit sideways there in turn 2. He's going to surrender that position to Steinbacher. So Steinbacher is up and now a position.
Yep. Best thing he can do right now is back it down a little bit, try to regroup. You got more cars coming up on you. You want to focus on getting back to the bumper in front of you so you don't start losing more. As that's the 06 of Tyler Rice starting to make his way back up the field after that earlier collision with the 55.
Yeah, and you can see a couple cars back there side by side racing each other going into 1. They get that battle sorted out. So now everybody's single file. I think they're just feeling things out. We've got a car, looks like slow on the track. Oh, I guess it's okay, but thought there was an incident on the track, but it looks okay.
Everybody's still trying to keep it clean as we go back up to our leader, Mark Whitley. 0.4 of a second over Joseph McWhorter, as if this isn't a story that we haven't told for a majority of this season right now. These two have been dominant. There's no other way to put it. They're just up front consistently running against each other, and it's just a battle for third more often than not when these two are on track.
Yeah, and Whitley's still searching for that first win. He's up there in the top part of the points right now, but he definitely wants that first win. Sitting third in points, we talked about at the top of the broadcast, would like to get a victory here over his teammate of McWhorter, but things just haven't gone his way, and we'll see about Pocono. It could be a similar situation. And with a lot of these guys hungry for a win in the back, as like I said, we're halfway at the halfway point of the season.
Yep, lap 11 right here. Mark Whitley still keeping that 0.4 of a second gap as we look to the back, or from the back of the 77 toward Joseph McWhorter. It's gonna be a good one with this pit cycle coming up. Do you think it'd be feasible to take 2?
No, I probably wouldn't do that. You're going to pretty much you're not going to save anything unless we have a caution. So, these guys will run with 45 laps. So you go to the halfway point of about 22, 23 laps. I would probably go with 4. I guess you would save a little bit, but it wouldn't be worth it. I think 4 tires you'd be able to run anybody down that took 2 with 22 to 24 laps left in the race.
On board with Devontae Drain making up a few more spots up to the 13th position, trying to challenge Jamie Lipke and Charles Abert up front, battling with Samuel Joseph just behind.
Yeah, and you can see those two cars. It's strange. It's almost like watching a GT race. The way everybody's approaching these corners, you see some guys, sees Charles Abert, dives it hard into the corner. Jamie Lipke was very soft in. Jamie Lipke now going by Charles Abert. And you can see we're riding along with Jamie Lipke as he goes through the final turn 3 here. And there's that camera that got knocked down that I was talking about earlier. But there he goes down the front stretch.
Lipke passed the 7 of Abert. Drain trying to tuck him, but had them tucked between or behind Lipke earlier on. Dives down to the bottom of the corner, trying to wrap the bottom around Charles Abert. I don't think they're going to get the momentum as Abert comes off the top of the corner, and everything's just going to shake out the way it was before, as we're seeing the 35 trying to make a move to the inside of the 52.
Yeah, didn't quite get it done there. Everybody's going to tuck back in. Now we're looking at it side by side of the 52 and 35. Samuel Joseph and Devontae Drain, your pick of the night. Looks like Samuel Joseph wants that position, still on the inside there. Devontae Drain rubbing that wall there, letting a little bit of his zebra colors fly there. Can't quite get it done. They go side by side. And let's see if the 35 can get any advantages to come down the front stretch, still side by side.
The 52 got that higher line through there. If the tires aren't completely gone, he should have a little bit more momentum going into turn 1 once we get down the track, as we saw somebody scrape the wall further up. Oh, side-to-side contact. 35 gets a little, pushes a little further deeper into the corner, doors the 52 up the track. That's one way to get the position.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he had enough of running side by side there for a whole lap there at Pocono. It's like, I'm done with this. But you can see he's going to make another run. Devontae coming back on the inside. And as they go through turn 2, now Devontae's on the inside. Oh, and another door slam. There's some repayment, but that cost Devontae a second time. That is someone that is not happy with how he's been run on track. I'm sure that might be. I'm sure that could be the end of it, because he got his hit back. But the 35 probably should keep an eye on his mirror as long as he's trying to push forward. Got another battle further up. That's the 09 with Stephen Davis fighting off the 36 of George Jewell, trying to get up to Kyle Deering in the 50. Yeah, George Jewell, you can see him out there. They're running, having a strong night there in that 36. He's down on the inside, trying to hang on there, trying to get that position as we ride along on board with him. You can see the focus in his eyes, trying to hold on. It looks like the 9's got the advantage as they go into 2. So Stephen Davis right now is going to hold on to that position, and we'll see if George Jewell can make a run back on him as they head towards 3.
George Jewell doesn't have a lot to say. He opts to show what he can do on track. He's very quiet. He's very intent. He's very intent with what he says in race comms and on track. He's just got a lot of skill, and he's got a lot to show for it as well.
Well, Kyle Deering now is kind of got a gang of cars that are all behind him. It was a little slow through turn 2 and then turn 3, and allowed these guys to really pile up on him, but it looks like he's trying to defend. So Kyle Deering in that orange car just ahead as we're looking at the battle for the lead.
Yep, Joseph McWhorter made up that 4/10 deficit to get to the back of Mark Whitley. He's got him to the inside going into turn 2 right here. Jumps to the inside of turn 2. Whitley going to try and roll the bottom to get through to the bottom and switch it back into turn 3.
Yeah, tried the undercut there. Let him go and then try to undercut him. Going to go down on the inside here. Looks like he has the advantage. Probably going to have it by the exit of 3. Down on the apron a little bit to help that 77 turn a little bit in that corner. And does get that position, but he's going to come right back. It looks like McWhorter's going to come right back and try to take that position away.
All the way past that yellow line onto the grass almost was Whitley. 72, McWhorter got a good exit. Whitley's got the top line going through turn 1. Let's see if they try to make some more contact on the exit of the turn here.
Yeah, you can see still on the inside. We got Whitley trying to get this position or hold onto this position there on the outside. McWhorter on the inside as they go into 2. This is usually a pretty good advantage for the car on the inside here in 2, but they're going to go side by side still. Just a slight advantage. It looks like McWhorter is finally going to get this position.
Yep, I think Whitley might have wanted to be a little bit further back there, so he had the opportunity to switch it back on him. 72 to the point, but 77 of Mark Whitley is going to be in hot pursuit.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a tail. Now these tires are starting to probably wear down a little bit. We're lap 17 into this race. I just seen a car duck into pit lane there. Not sure who that was, but we might be starting to see some of the pit. That was Sean Warab headed to pit lane, so it might be the first of many stops.
Yep, it looks as though right here he's got a black flag, so he may have cut down a little too fast because he was everybody was coming up on him as lap traffic. As we got a battle for the third position here, Wesley Burke with that speed out of nowhere last week looks to be putting it to work a little bit early here, trying to chase down the 26 of Logan Sturgeon.
Yeah, you can see as we ride along with Wesley Burke here, looking for an opening, using that toe here as he goes into 3, seeing if he can get a little bit of advantage on the exit, or sorry, this is 2. Doesn't quite have it here, and this will be turn 3, a very flat corner. And you really need to get the car to rotate around this corner to get an advantage as he's getting passed on the inside by Bontrager.
Yep, Bontrager uses the opportunity to take that 4th position away, lines up behind Logan Sturgeon. Sturgeon dives to the inside to break the toe. 04 is trying to push the 49 further up into the corner. Let's see how this one shakes out.
Yeah, as they go, Bontrager's got the lead, but he might not have the advantage. They go into turn 1 here. We'll see if he can hold on the outside. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. As he runs up the track, he's going to tuck in, maybe try the undercut here. Sure does as they head into 2.
Yep, Sturgeon looks like he keeps the momentum as Bontrager tries to switch it back. As they make their way down to turn 2 here, past the cones, toward that marker that everybody uses to slow themselves down. Wrapping turn 2, Sturgeon trying to go to the undercut on the inside.
These guys are just trading it back and forth. A tough battle for 3rd right now, and you got somebody in the back there just hoping that these guys will get out of the way, and that's Wesley Burke there just watching these guys battle it out and maybe saving some tire for when these guys wear themselves out.
Bontrager now trying to break that toe, going all the way to the inside. That's more of an IndyCar move. He's got Logan Sturgeon in tow, while Wesley Burke is now fighting off the new arrival in this battle of Barrett Morton.
Yep, you can see Barrett Morton back there in the 9, trying to get ahead of the 04 car of Burke, last week's winner. Super fine looking car he's got there. Barrett Morton currently running in 6th, starting in 7th, only up 1 on the night. But if these guys continue to battle as hard as they are, that might allow him a little bit of a tire advantage, but it looks like they've kind of sorted out and got back to single file.
Yeah, it's something somebody made some hard contact with the wall back there. That is Stephen Davis in the 06, I believe. Or that's the 09, I apologize. But looking at another battle right here, we got Jamie Libke fighting to the inside of Justin Ackerman. George Jewell in the 36 pushed his way up to 7th.
Yeah, and it looks like those guys got that battle sorted out. And this is, we're at the point of the race where guys are starting to think about pit stops because we are approaching the halfway point of this race, and it does have another one of those green flag looks to it. However, these guys are racing each other really hard. But, they're thinking about it, and pit lane here is really tricky. When you come off 3, you really got to get the car wound up without spinning out, especially if you got a lot of brake bias in the car. And so one of the things you kind of want to do is you want to pit by yourself a lot of times and not end up going into pit lane with somebody else. So I think we're going to start to see some of that strategy here in the next couple of laps.
It gives a lot of opportunity for getting caught up with somebody as we see Justin Ackerman make some wall contact, gets passed up by the 16 and the 09. Maybe the 7 trying to take a look as well.
Yeah, 7 Charles Abert back there in the hunt here. Looks like 28 of Justin Ackerman's got it gathered back up, but he's stuck on the outside right now. And he's got that 9 car on his inside of Stephen Davis. Stephen Davis trying to hold on and take that position away from him after that mistake.
All of these cars could be thrown underneath a blanket. The 09 makes a little bit of contact with the line there. It gets loose. 28 to his outside, going to have the run on the exit onto the backstretch. Yeah,
he got a little bit of that apron, a little too much apron, and it sent him up, and he had to back out of it. And it's a good thing he did, so it's good heads-up driving by that 9 car. But now the 9's got the advantage going into 2, and this is where I like to make this pass here. It's usually you can carry momentum through here and clear that driver in front. He's just about got him cleared.
Yep, but the problem comes here into turn 3. You saw Ackerman have a little bit of a run there on the exit of the turn. 09 pushing toward a little bit toward the middle line through that, and he's got the 28 in tow.
Yeah, speaking of tow, now that's what these guys are in. Charles Abert taking a little peek there. You can see him back there peeking the nose of that yellow machine, but going to stay in line and use that toe as we got pit stop starting here.
Yep, we got takers. That's Wesley Burke, Barrett Morton, Kyle Deering, a few of many that are going down right now. It looks like Frederick Seagraves, Cody Turner, Wyatt Dooling. There's a first group of about 7 cars that are down here to take a look at what the strategy changes might be.
Yeah, and it looks like we had a car there just miss his pit box there. I wanted to say that was Abert, but I think that was the 50 that had that Kyle Deering that actually missed his pit box, so it's going to be a big setback for him.
Yep, Wesley Burke and Barrett Morton coming out of pits side by side. They're going to have each other to draft off of, which I think might provide a little bit of benefit trying to get back around to the back end of this pit cycle.
The one nice thing, Jacob, about Pocono is as long as you're up running amongst the leaders or close to them, you usually don't go a lap down during pit cycles because it's usually not a big risk as we're watching another group, Jamie Lipke, bringing this next group of cars down. But it's usually you can stay on the lead lap here at Pocono depending on where you're at on the track.
Yep, 2.5 miles, the same distance as Daytona Superspeedway. So you're gonna have other cars that are in different positions on track. You're gonna come in, and the leaders are like by the time you exit, where we were seeing the 2 cars exit the front of the first group there, we were seeing the leaders come off of turn 3. So you got an entire front stretch in between you two.
Yeah, and speaking of the leaders are now headed to pit lane. McWhorter and Whitley on pit lane as they race each other to the line there. So it's going to be a battle of wits of who's going to get off first, but that's going to surrender the lead to Bontrager, my pick of the night.
Bontrager takes the lead. Logan Sturgeon comes in. So does the. I need to get this. This out. This is 09 to Stephen Davis. A little bit of contact.
Caution.
Caution! George Jewell toes immediately to the pit lane. This throws a wrench in a lot of things because there's drivers that need to take the. There's drivers that still need to take their the pit stop. Looks like he was currently in the process of coming out of the pits and he just loops it. Unfortunately, out of turn 1, he gets it back. He got it back straightened up, and
yeah,
I understand the frustration.
Yeah, and he might have towed it to keep from interfering, and it will change up the strategy a little bit. Like I said, you typically, unless you're way back in position, you go a lap down. But what's going to be kind of bad for Bontrager is he stayed out, and it's going to allow everybody on the fresh tires to get up front. Bontrager is going to have to make his pit stop, and it's probably going to move him back quite a ways into the traffic.
Yes, indeed. There are approximately 10 drivers that have not taken a pit stop as of yet, which do you think a couple of laps are going to affect how the guys behind you are going to run against you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. There's going to be some slight variations in tire differences between these drivers. The real question is how far, like somebody like Bontrager, who was running really solid tonight, was probably not expecting that caution to come out when it did. How far that's going to set him back. And while he'll have fresh tires, he isn't going to have much fresher tires than our leaders. So I'd rather have that advantage, I guess, but it depends on where I'm going to restart this race. As we're looking at our leader here, Bontrager, we'll see probably him, and it looks like we have Charles Abert, who also didn't pit. Devontae Drain currently running in third. So it looks like Jacob Hart, our top 2 picks, at least for right now, are in the top 3. So we have Brandon Wallace there in fourth. He'll need to make a pit stop. Kevin Price, Gary Wright, Brock Price, Tyler Rice, Aaron Yancey, Dave Cobert, Logan Sturgeon. Yeah, there's a dozen cars, 13 cars, 12 cars that need to pit, and they're all headed to pit lane right now.
I think I may need to make a little bit of a correction on that one. I think Logan Sturgeon may have taken 2 tires on that stop. It shows a 20-some second stop there for him.
Interesting. Well, we'll see how that plays out for him during this race. But you see Bontrager headed to his pit stall. And I can tell you right now, he's hoping that he can be the first one off pit lane. That's less cars he's going to have to go through. see, that's going to be 4 tires in fuel. He's got Charles Abert just ahead of him. We'll see which one of these 2 cars beat it out. Looks like Bontrager's clearly going to win this race off pit lane.
Bontrager, then it looks like it may be... Oh, it's close between Drain and Abert for that the second spot there. I think we may need to give that one to Devontae Drain coming out in P12.
So, well, Devontae Drain moving his way up position. We're looking at Wesley Burke right now. Wesley Burke currently leading this thing. So Wesley Burke got some strategy here. I'm not sure what he made his pit stop. Just looking here.
Wesley Burke made it a couple of laps before McWhorter and Whitley did.
So Wesley Burke is going to lead these guys to the green flag, and it looks like it's really changed the complexion of this race. So I don't know what to make how this is going to go. So you got McWhorter, who was leading this thing. He's currently running in 7th. And his teammate, where is Whitley? So Whitley is back in 11th. So somehow, oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong standing screen here. So I apologize for that. But McWhorter is running in 8th and Whitley running in 9th just behind him. So that's where those guys are.
Yep, Joseph McWhorter and Mark Whitley in... So far this season, they're in uncharted territory. Traffic. We haven't seen them have to battle their way up through the field too much through the course of this season. We'll see how they try and pull it back here. We're going to have about 15, 17 laps to go through this, so we're going to have a decent tire run. Can they save enough to where they can push and get up to the front once more?
Well, we're about a half a lap away to find out. Let's do another quick sponsor read. Let's talk about Save 22. Save 22 is a 503c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Their unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate. Save 22. They've been with Goat Locker since the beginning, I believe, and it's always great to have them on board and being part of this veteran family that we have here at Goat Locker Racing and Save 22. I couldn't be more proud.
Yes, sir. They've had some hardships with one of their buildings recently, and we have done as much as we can to spread the word about that. Everybody's been nothing but helpful. Save 22, one of the core sponsors of the. They're the title sponsor of the Friday Truck Series, and they're one of the core sponsors of GLR for sure.
Well, we're just a corner away from this, Jacob, so we'll see how all these strategies plays out, all these different tires. We know Whitley and McWhorter are going to want to get through the field. They don't want to get bogged down in traffic, but you're right. They are in uncharted territory. Bontrager back there just behind those guys, Stephen Davis in the 9 car. So strong cars back there and some new names that we haven't seen up front yet tonight. So Wesley Burke, last week's winner, can he do it again here tonight?
1 to 5 laps on the tires spread throughout the front of the field. Pace car is off. We're back in the restart zone. Wesley Burke and Barrett Morton touch as we go back green.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be an incident right there up front as we took the green flag there, but it looks like Wesley Burke is going to clear that. They get single file. You got Jamie Lipke down there on the inside battling for 3rd, and it looks like she's got a little bit of advantage, but there is a battle for the lead now, it looks like. Not quite. It looks like Lipke's going to clear that car.
Yep, Jamie Lipke rolling off in 3rd. We might have 4 wide going into turn 2 here. Kyle Deering backs out. 77 of Mark Whitley to the outside of Bontrager. 62 drops back. 72 trying to pull to the inside. Bontrager turns to 77. 77 keeps it straight. 72 going to the inside to capitalize.
Yeah, and Abert, we got to caution Charles Abert went around there while all that action was taking place there, and I think he either got into somebody or got turned, but something happened back there with Charles Abert, and we'll probably go back and see exactly what happened here.
Watching Charles Abert to the inside of Devontae Drain and Stephen Davis going into turn 2 by the looks of it. Oh, he touches the apron a little bit. Drain, he pushes up a little bit. Drain got lucky. He didn't get across his nose, but that was a very hard hit to the inside wall for the 7.
Wow. So just like the start of this race, we didn't quite get a lap in. on these restarts. And I think this is just a factor of all these different, little bit different tires. Even though these cars are very similar in lap times, that little bit of tire difference can really shake things up. And as we saw McWhorter working his way up, pushing Bontrager, looks like McWhorter didn't get that position. The caution came out before he could get ahead of Bontrager, so Bontrager will hang on to that 6th spot.
Bontrager keeps it, and they have McWhorter and Whitley have a net gain of 1 position on that restart. Everybody else pretty much shaken out where they rolled off. So we're going to take another second to regroup here. Everybody, calm down like we were, get the nerves away like we had at the beginning of the race. We know the restart is going to be coming this time. Once the pace car stops flashing, everybody doubles up one more time. We're going to get everything reset, and then we can just go.
Yeah.
You want to put the amount of cautions we've had so far out of your mind, and you just want to reset. We're going to have a 12-lap run to the finish, pretty much, and that's all you got to focus on.
And this is such a big track too. There's actually quite a bit of time left for these guys that are fast, as long as they're patient, making it up through traffic. So, one of the things I mentioned at the top of the broadcast is having track position here. Well, some of our front runners, like McWhorter and Bontrager, are up there where now they're just, they just got to battle their way up. Whitley's back there as well. Wesley Burke, like I mentioned, last week's winner, he's going to have his hands full because these guys are going to be coming. But that Wesley, now that he's got a win, though, he's going to probably feel pretty confident. But like I said, we'll have 14 to go, 13 to go, I guess, when the green flag comes out. So it's still a lot of time for these guys to get up front.
Yep. And someone else that has been waiting for the opportunity to challenge up for a win, the 9 of Barrett Morton has been he's one of the drivers that we see up front toward the beginning of the runs. He's got a lot of short run speed, but has a little bit of a tendency to burn his stuff up when we go into the longer, and this is playing into his hands perfectly.
Yeah, and let's not count out Jamie Lipke. I know she's got some wins in some other divisions here in Goat Locker Racing. I believe she's got a win in, I want to say it's the late models. So no slouch there in that 16 car either.
Yep, Lipke's got multiple late model wins. They have a truck win. They won a Sunday truck race at Auto Club. They have a ARCA Am win as well, and from a previous season. And honestly, if there were year-end superlatives, I would give most improved driver to Jamie Lipke, because they came into the season as a rookie in the Wednesday Premier Series along with me. They're constantly putting the time in and getting better and being more competitive in every series that they're challenging in, and it's evident right there. They're running P3.
Absolutely, as we ride along with her under this last pace lap here, Jacob. So I imagine we'll see the lights go out atop the pace car here, and we'll see if these guys can get this done here. But it's probably going to be very exciting.
We are officially under 15 laps to go as the leader crosses the line. Lights are off the pace car. Wesley Burke going to be lining up in front of their teammate with SRP. Barrett Morton to their outside is going to have Justin Ackerman right behind, and then P5 will be Samuel Yosef. P6, Craig Bontrager. McWhorter and Whitley line up 7 and 8, and Kyle Deering and Kyle Steinbacher rounding out your top 10 as they run right now.
Speaking of Kyle, so I'm just looking at the positions game there. Kyle Steinbacher, I believe he's new to the league, perhaps in that 62 car, but up 10 positions up on the night. We'll see if he can hang on. Not sure what his tire situation is like, but there you can see it there, that red and black machine. So having a good night so far for Kyle.
Yep. Biggest mover so far that I'm seeing right now would be Samuel Yosef in the 5th spot. He's made himself up 11 spots, having started P16. So a really good night for him tonight.
All right. Well, we're about to turn them loose here in a couple turns here. So you still standing strong on Devontae there, Jacob?
Absolutely. He's running P12, and if we have a little more of uncertainty up at the front, I think he can capitalize, no problem.
Well, we're about to find out as we're just a corner away from sending these guys back to green flag racing here at Pocono. It's been exciting, just as I thought it would. Wesley Burke is going to lead them to the green flag. I keep mentioning it. Last week's winner, it was kind of exciting. Last week there at Kansas, he just came out of nowhere and just put a beat down the last 10 laps of the race. But we'll see if he can do what he can do here tonight.
Lit the fuse on the rocket, let it burn. The pace car pulls off one more time into the pit lane. And we are back in the restart zone as we go green one more time at Pocono.
And Wesley gets a great run on the inside there. As you can see, it looks like the outside car there, Barrett Morton, might have spun the tires just a little bit. Barrett Morton falling back, staying on the outside there. We'll see if he makes a challenge here going into one. And it looks like they are almost side by side trying to get the lead. You can see doesn't look like he's going to get it done there.
72, McWhorter off like a rocket. He's already up to 5th after getting past Josef on the inside. We are under caution once again after turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like the 44 machine. So it looks like Gary Wright had an incident back there. We're going to go back and take a look here. You can see him gathering that Mustang back up. See exactly what happened in an instant replay. Oh, it looks like
HEB Ford, yep, down to the inside there. He's just running his line. He's got Seagraves behind him. That's the 80. Oh, yeah, he got loose in the middle of turn 1. Warrob slows it down. Doink. Digs the inside wall and toes. So Warrob, I think, might be done for the night because he's already taken his fast repair. And Gary Wright manages to keep it damage free so he can get back to running here.
So it looks like, just looking at timing and score, McWhorter was able to get that position away from Bontrager, my pick of the night, before that caution flag came out. So we will reset this field again. Well, while we got a moment here, why don't we talk about another one of our sponsors, Jacob? Talk about Invets.
Yes, sir. Invets aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit in the state of Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. They are the title sponsor of the Sunday Xfinity Series, Invets.
Yeah, awesome. You know, as I mentioned earlier, being part of this community here with the veterans and first responders has been absolutely amazing. And, you know, here at Goat Locker Racing, we race 7 nights a week, and these guys have a place to come. We've got sim rig recipients. We have, you know, charity events. It's just been a great place to race. And then I've been privileged to work with you, Jacob. You and I are both veterans working here in the booth together. Just being able to be part of this large community has been an absolute blast.
Yes, it is incredible. I've been to a few of the functions that these guys have put on. I was down at the Charlotte race with the Goat Locker group where they did the double. We had a group that went out to the Indy 500. We had a group that went to the Coke 600. And it was an incredible experience. And I was also very lucky to be able to go down to Columbus to watch one of the sim rig giveaways at Nasty's, another one of our major sponsors here in Goat Locker. They it's a sports bar that puts on the races that Goat Locker runs in the sports bar, which is awesome. I've never heard of anywhere doing that before.
No, I haven't either. No, it's just a great community here, you know, both on and off the track. I mean, where else do you get that, where you get the, you know, where you can meet up with your fellow drivers? You know, I've heard our producer even mention, you know, you see them out on the track and you might talk some smack to each other out on the track, but then you meet them in person and they're, you know, very nice and very great to have them all be part of this large community.
Yep. Eddie being one of those class acts in particular. I know he's going to be a little bit bashful about it, but no, he's really one of the key components keeping a lot of the he's one of the key components keeping the broadcasts on air. He's one of the key components in getting everything coordinated with a lot of the things that you see here through V-Speed and Goat Locker. So big ups to him.
Nothing like a big track here, Jacob, to do a little bit of BS in here before we take the green flag again. So I'm guessing that the lights will go out atop the pace car. That's going to give us 10 to go. We're starting to talk about a shootout. It's still a big track. You know, Burke is going to want to hang on to this thing with all he's got. He knows McWhorter's coming, probably sees him in that top 5 in his relative now and knows that he's going to have to put the hammer down and try to clear these cars. Barrett Morton's hungry. A lot of drivers that haven't won this season. Very fast cars. Jamie Lipke back there. Justin Ackerman. And then we get into the McWhorters, Bontrager, and then Samuel Joseph there. It looks like he lost position before that caution flag. But all these guys are super strong drivers.
The biggest thing that I'm seeing right now, McWhorter wanted to go for as many positions as possible, made up 2 on that restart. Whitley's still sitting in 8th. I don't know if he's wanting to stay a little bit more conservative on this run or what he's thinking about, but he knows that he needs to go for go time here shortly.
And I agree with you there. You kind of now, it's a big track and there's a lot of racing time, but you do need to make these positions up because you never know if that caution flies. These laps just tick off and you run them under caution. You don't make up any positions under caution, so you got to make these before the next caution flies. Try to get some positions made.
Something that I'm intrigued about. When I mentioned before that I was asking about like when would, with how many cautions we've had tonight, would you want to go for tires? The only time people have stopped for tires was that green flags was that green flag cycle that ended up going under caution. And everybody on track is going to have run at least 10 laps on their tires thus far. So I don't think they're thinking the fall off is going to be too important coming to the end of this one.
Most of those laps are also under caution too. So, they're not getting a lot of heat in those tires and wearing off that rubber. Of course, those guys like McWhorter and Whitley that are trying to make up position, especially McWhorter, he's putting a lot of pressure on those tires, getting positions made early. Might be one of those guys that might equalize if he does get up front and then really have to challenge Wesley Burke or somebody like that up front.
Yep. Freshest tires toward the front is P6, Craig Bontrager. Pace car going to dip down back to the back into the pit lane once we pass turn 3.
Yeah, and you can see the pace car up there trickling down towards turn 3. Very long pace laps here. I was just hoping not to get tongue-tied all through this here as these cars are now side by side. Wesley Burke is going to lead him to the green flag. Barrett Morton on his outside. Jamie Lipke behind him and Justin Ackerman behind that.
Pace car getting ready to pull back down into the pit lane. Field rounds out through turn 3 and we get back to the start zone. Back under green here at Pocono. Big run for Burke on the front.
Yeah, that green flag came out a little late for Pocono. I was kind of surprised, but it allowed the 0-4 Wesley Burke to get a nice little jump out there. So Barrett Morton's going to have a heck of a time as he's going to challenge on the outside, but he's not going to tuck in line behind Jamie Lipke down on the inside. Because you got Bontrager and the 28 of Justin Ackerman going nose to tail. Oh, and there you got McWhorter down on the inside.
Lipke was defending McWhorter. We got a long, deep shot from Whitley blocking Bontrager. Bontrager going to lose a lot of momentum as they make their way down the backstretch.
Yeah, I thought Bontrager was going to lose it, but he was able to hang on to it. You see McWhorter putting pressure on the back of Jamie Lipke. Got a nice run there as they head down the straightaway here. Got the 77 just behind him. Mark Whitley going to try to follow his teammate through the corner.
Lipke wrapping the middle through the corner. Whitley making it all the way to the inside of them. Whitley makes a contact with the wall. That's going to pull them back a little bit, but they're able to keep in the toe of the front runners as the 72 is on the charge.
Yeah, Wesley Burke up there in front. You see him running there trying to break the toe. He's got the 9 of Barrett Morton behind him. And you can see McWhorter creeping in on that 9 car of Barrett Morton. And all Wesley Burke can hope for is that these guys get to battle in behind him. You can see him there trying to break that toe, but I don't think he's far enough ahead here where that's going to do him any good. That 9 is closing as they go into 2.
Morton has to make a decision here. Do you keep pushing to get to the 0-4 and risk trying to get into that position at the lead, or do you focus on being defensive? Because everything's closing up here once we get to turn 3, makes a look to the inside of the 0-4, nothing doing, then that's going to push a hole wide open to the inside for the 72 to go through. Oh. 77 takes it 3 wide. They make contact. 72 goes sideways almost. 77 to P2, Barrett Morton out in 3rd.
Yeah, McWhorter tried to bite a little too much off that apron trying to get by, and it cost him. He's going to send him back to 4th right now. It's going to allow Mark Whitley to get up there and challenge for the lead. Mark Whitley now putting all kinds of pressure on Wesley Burke. Whitley was able to clear Barrett Morton. So getting back to your question there, I don't know, I'm a pretty conservative driver, so I would probably do what Barrett Morton's doing and just kind of ride until the very end, but it looks like Barrett Morton's making a challenge to the outside.
Yep, Wesley Burke getting the run to the inside off the exit. Mark Whitley trying to get back to the side of Wesley Burke as we challenge for the lead once again.
And Burke is doing a great job there defending down on the inside. We'll see how low that the 77 gets. Whitley tries to take down low like his teammate did, but Burke didn't give him the room, did a great job defending that position. You'll see him work to the inside there, not just to break the toe, but just to keep him off his game and where he's going to go. Now the 9 pushing Mark Whitley.
9 pushes Mark Whitley to try and get him a little overshoot into turn 1. 72 pushing the 9, trying to get some more momentum off of that. The 0-4 defending as hard as they can to try and keep those 3 behind.
Yeah, McWhorter coming back now on the inside of the 9 car just behind these 2. So McWhorter now on the inside trying to get these positions back, working on the inside of Barrett Morton as they go through turn 2 here, and doesn't quite have him clear, challenging hard here.
Or contact between we got more cars on the inside wall. That's a heavy contact. It looks like that was the 35. Oh man.
Yeah, 35 involved in that incident. That's
it's Aaron Yancey in the 20. 35 of Samuel Yosef toes back to the garage. A massive hit to the inside wall there.
We're looking at Samuel Yosef here in that 35 as they go through. Oh, it just gets up. Looks like he might have got clipped there and then comes down on the 51, just nowhere to go, and slams that inside retaining wall.
I don't know if you noticed that there, but there was a wheel that shot at like Mach 2 from the inside wall all the way back across the track.
Yeah, I did notice that. So yeah, it looks like Samuel Yosef was checking up there in the 62, got into the back of him just a little bit, and that was enough to upset that car, and just a little bit of overcorrecting and just couldn't quite get it saved. So tough break for Samuel Yosef. Well, Wesley Burke's still out front there, Jacob. So did a great job of defending, and we're the way these pace laps have been, and as long as they've been, I almost feel like this is going to be a green-white checker or close to it.
If we cut a lap off here before we go, we are going to have about 3 to go once we cross the line, and that sets us up for about as good of it's going to set us up for what would be 3 green-white checkers. Essentially, we're going to have a shootout to the end of this one, and Wesley Burke is going to be under fire from all sides. He's got Whitley to his outside, McWhorter behind. Barrett Morton and Craig Bontrager both very hungry for that first one on the season.
Most definitely. And the way this race has started with these restarts, cautions have been coming early with the restarts, and now these guys, as hungry as they are, I can only imagine that we might see the several green-white checkered attempts to get this thing finished.
I'm looking right now. We might have some takers on pit road. Yes, we do. We've got quite a few. I'm seeing Brandon Wallace. I'm seeing Wyatt Dooling, Charles Abert. Aaron Yancey was involved in that incident, and he's currently working on getting some of that damage fixed. That's Claire Sisk down there and Charles Abert as well.
Yeah, a lot of those guys towards the back of the pack there in the top 20. I'm just going to go ahead and get some tires on that. Maybe they'll get lucky, is maybe what they're seeing is it could be ugly. It could be very lucky or very unlucky, depending on how these restarts go.
What I'm seeing right now from our tracker is caution laps or not. Those are still laps turned on the tires, so they're going to have fresher rubber than the people in front of them. And Wesley Burke, 19 laps. Mark Whitley, 17. McWhorter, 17. Craig Bontrager, 15 laps on these tires. You got drivers that have been out here on these tires just running under pace laps, keeping them warm, keeping them making sure that they're good to go for the end of this one. And then you got fresh rubber behind. I'm sure that those guys are going to try and make a charge to get some more points here tonight.
Yeah, they'll try, but Pocono is one of those tracks where track position is so important, and if you're back there, behind the top 10, it's a real struggle. You've seen the struggle. You've seen how aggressive that people like McWhorter and Whitley had to be to get back up front, and it's kind of what you have to do here at Pocono, especially as these laps are winding down. And when I talk about aggression, wait till we see this next green flag. I imagine it's going to be quite an aggressive start.
We're going to see McWhorter jump to the outside and floor it through turn 1. We're going to see Whitley try to make a dive to the inside as soon as we hit the start-finish line. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Replace those two names. Whitley's going to floor it into turn one. McWhorter's going to dive to the inside of Burke as soon as we hit the start-finish line. I don't know where everybody's going to line up after that, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have a few torn up by the end of this week.
I think you're right. I have no doubt. So I'm looking at my pick for the night, currently running in fifth. Bontrager actually in sixth position, it looks like. I'm going to restart this thing. No, he's restarting in fifth. So going to be interesting what he can do. You'd mentioned that he has the freshest tires of probably the top 6 or so guys out there. But like I mentioned, a lot of these laps have been run under caution. I'm fascinated what Wesley Burke can do, though, because I still have memories of what he did last week and found some speed out of nowhere. Did a great job on the last restart defending that position away from Mark Whitley. Mark Whitley couldn't get by. We'll see if he can keep doing that for a green-white checker.
Yep, making sure that you're able to keep those two behind you is going to be priority number 1. And we have seen that Wesley Burke, toward the end of these races, has more in the tank than they're using right now.
Yeah, Wesley Burke is sitting back there in the top 10 in points. So, he isn't that far off the cut line. Of course, he's got to win, so I guess he is locked into the chase. So top 12 will be locked into the chase here as we're getting ready to send him back to a green flag start here momentarily.
Rounding through turn 2, pace car with the lights off. Everybody itching to get back going here as we're going to have a natural green-white checkered with 2 to go at the line. Oh, man, this is going to be rough.
I'm nervous. I'm sweating a little bit, and I'm not even out there right now. So it's going to be exciting. Whitley on the outside. McWhorter on the inside behind Wesley Burke. We'll see if McWhorter, he was really aggressive that last restart. Pace car's going to head on to pit lane. We're going to send him green flag racing for maybe the last time.
Yep, into the restart zone once again. We got a green flag and another good jump for Wesley Burke. 72 trying to get into the wake of the 77. 77 staying to the outside. Everybody kind of shuffling a little bit, trying to get straightened out before we hit turn 1.
McWhorter, again, very aggressive there with his teammate down on the inside. Gets a little door tap there with his teammate, able to hang onto it. 77 up high into the wall. McWhorter down low. 77 still running strong.
Bontrager up through to 4th. Logan Sturgeon trying to get back there with him, pulling into 5th. 72 gets clear of the 77's nose, tries to push it under the 0-4. Nothing doing.
McWhorter, that last run here, he got way down on the apron getting into turn 3 here. We'll see if he does it again. And we remember Wesley Burke is very good at defending down here. McWhorter, will he run it all the way down to the grass to try to get around? Not this time. Looks like he's going to stage and size him up here for the last lap.
White flag is out. Next flag ends the race. Wesley Burke all the way to the inside. 72 of McWhorter goes to the top. 77 lining up behind him. They're going to be side by side into turn 1.
Yeah, a very aggressive move by McWhorter, but that's what he's got to do. It looks like the 4's got the advantage going into 1. Looks like McWhorter's backing up the corner a little bit, trying to get a run off the corner. 4 into the wall a little bit. Tries to block, sends McWhorter into the inside wall.
Big contact with some cars further back in the field. We got the 0-4 to the inside of the 77 heading into 2. Bontrager into the mix now.
Burke on the inside's got the advantage. He's going into turn 3, last corner of the race. Burke won last week. Can he do it this week? Going to the inside there, blocking that lane. Bontrager on the outside.
Bontrager trying to wrap the outside. He's going to add the momentum exiting on the straightaway. 77 pushes up into the 49. Massive contact with the cars. It's pandemonium. 0-4. Wesley Burke wins it back-to-back with a win at Pocono. Logan Sturgeon comes home second, and it is carnage behind.
Wow, it was exciting. Well, we called it. We figured it was going to go this way. At least they made it to the checkered flag before the pandemonium started, as you like to put it. But heck of a run there by Wesley Burke, doing all he could to hang on to that position. Congrats. Logan Sturgeon just behind him. Those two are celebrating right now. McWhorter got a lot of damage. Even though he finished third, McWhorter's way back there trying to struggle to get that car to pit lane.
What a finish. We're taking a look at the white flag lap here. We saw Burke jump to the inside to try and break that toe. Masterclass in defending the entire lap here. A little bit of a mistake exiting the turn as Burke clatters the wall there, pushes back down, gets the nose of the 72, which upsets him. He goes all the way to the back, but Whitley makes this last-ditch shot around turn 2 trying to get to the 04's door.
Yeah, he couldn't get it done there. It gets to the, as they go into the final corner here, it gets a little bit into the back here of the 04, trying to find a way around down on the inside. Bontrager now trying on the outside and just clips him and then clips Bontrager. So gets into the back of 04, sends Bontrager around. Bontrager, the poor guy, had nowhere to go in that, was looking for a good finish. Still managed, looking to see where Bontrager actually finished on the night. It looks like that really hurt him.
That Bontrager did not end up crossing the start-finish line. It does not. Oh, he might have because of the momentum from all these wrecks.
Wow.
Goodness me.
Wow. I don't think he did. I don't think
no.
Yeah,
he will be marked as 23rd with that flag coming out. He might have had enough momentum to get around the 04 if the 77 stays down underneath, as we're having a mass burnout by the SRP team for Wesley Burke.
Yeah, congrats to that driver. 2 in a row. So showing that there is some people out there that can hang with Whitley and McWhorter. McWhorter tried his best. So did Whitley, and just nothing doing. Whitley still winless on the season, but not taking away anything from Wesley Burke.
Yes, indeed. And we're going to have an opportunity to talk with a few of the drivers that survived that debacle. Right after we go to break, we're going to run down our unofficial results, and then we'll have your top 3 interviews. We'll be back.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
We are back live here at Pocono with your unofficial results of this exciting race. Wesley Burke gets 2 races in a row. Win at Kansas, wins here tonight at Pocono. What an exciting finish. Logan Sturgeon with a great run finishes second. Joseph McWhorter finishes in third, with Justin Ackerman finishing fourth. Kyle Deering will finish in fifth, with Devontae Drain sixth. Brock Price will finish seventh, with Charles Abert finishing in eighth. Cody Turner ninth. Tyler Rice will wrap out your top 10.
Mark Whitley, after that late contact, finishes 11th. Aaron Yancey comes back to finish 12th. Gary Wright, after that late spin, finishes 13th. Kyle Steinbacher in 14th. Jamie Libke rounds out your top 15. Armando Melgoza in 16th. Brandon Wallace, 17th. Frederick Seagraves Jr. finishes 18th. Kevin Price in 19th. And Dave Calvert rounds out the top 20.
Stephen Davis will finish in 21st, the last car on the lead lap. Craig Bontrager, what a tough break, will finish in 22nd. Barrett Morton, 23rd. Samuel Yosef will finish in 24th. Wyatt Dooling 25th, Colton Sisk 26th. Claire Sisk will finish in 27th with Sean Warab finishing in 28th. George Jewell will finish 29th, Jonathan Cofield 30th, and Judson Curtis 31st, Nick Reed 32nd. And that is your entire field. Why don't we talk to our race winners there, Jacob?
Yes, indeed. And the one person that has been able to put it to the dominant forces thus far this season, Wesley Berg. This is Jake Lenke in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, that the pit cycle, the caution coming during the pit cycle ended up cycling you up to the front at the middle of the race, and you were able to defend from there. Take me through your thought process on when that caution came out and what you were able to put to work with that.
Yeah, I don't know what really happened with Whitley and McWhorter there. They got screwed over. They came out of pits ahead, but game told them to go to the back. But yeah, oof, I burnt the right front up there, and I couldn't keep it to the bottom at the end. Really, the whole race, I did that, but I don't know. Uh, I tried to hold him off there, and got on the wall there out of two, or no, excuse me, out of one, and it bounced me back into quarter. Did not mean to do that, but I don't know what happened with Whitley. I don't know why he tried to direct me going into three, but it is what it is.
Well, somebody tried doing that to him on Friday, and he ended up on the short end of the stick there. So I guess that's just acceptable conduct now. But you were putting on a defensive wonder class through most of that back end of the run, defending from Barrett Morton. You had Whitley and McWhorter challenging for you at the same time. Like you have proven to be one of the best defenders that we've seen coming through here. We know you got a little more in the tank. Take us through what that last run defending was like.
It was very stressful, mainly when Whitley and McWhorter got there. When I saw McWhorter got up to fifth, I got really scared because, like, oh no, there's like 10 to go, and they're already back up to fifth. I knew that wasn't going to bode well for me, but um, it paid off, I guess. So that's good.
Yep.
It
Back
was
to
very, very hard to defend those two.
Yep, but you did it, and you got back-to-back wins. Do us a favor, tell us who got you, or tell us who you have to thank to put you on the top step of the podium tonight.
Um, oof. um, First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for being awesome commentators, and B Speed for broadcasting, Goat Locker for putting all this on, and then obviously Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Invets, and then Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. But yeah,
Well, another win putting you a little bit further in the standings, getting toward the playoffs, and got some more momentum going into next week. We'll see you next week. Have a good evening. Congrats on the win.
you too.
All right, Ken. Let's bring the second place finisher into the booth here.
Hey, Logan, this is Ken Huber, Jacob in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, what a great race. You started in third, finished in second. Definitely very heads up driving tonight. But on that restart, it looks like you started in about seventh. So talk us through that last restart.
So I got screwed with how that one caution came out during green flag pit stops. So I ended up starting like 22nd and just started taking them three wide. I was getting better restarts, kept starting on the inside, and Pocono's a wide track, so I just started taking guys three wide. That's how I was making up all those spots, was on these restarts, and basically just sending it into one and holding it there better than the other guys did. So I was picking off multiple cars on each restart, and yeah, that final one. I was gonna be happy with, finishing in the top 5, and I was watching the leaders just kinda go back and forth with each other, and, the seas parted there, and I was hoping, honestly, I was hoping Wesley was gonna get taken out as well, and I was just gonna fall into a win, but, I mean, I'll take 2nd any day of the week.
Yeah, nothing like hoping misfortune on your competitors to get a win. I don't blame you there, especially on a tough track like Pocono. What was your approach to coming into tonight?
I didn't have one. I didn't have any practice. I've never been good at Pocono. I can't figure out how to save tires, so I qualified 3rd and was just kinda riding, and, I mean, I was still not I had nothing for, I think, the 77 and the 72, that first half of the race, they were just gone. And the cautions fell right, and so, I'm better at not saving my tires, so that kinda played into my hand by just being able to, to just be really aggressive on those restarts.
Well, while you were sitting there talking, we were watching your car go through the track in slow motion of that last incident there and the last straightaway on that race of those guys getting together, allowing you to get that second place. Well, congrats on that. We'll look forward to seeing you here next week, Logan. Who do you have to thank for getting you that second place finish?
I wanna, give a shout out to, obviously, NASCAR 25 game. Um, being in the game as a sponsor in there is really cool. Got Jam Printing and Promotions, Invets, V Speed, Alexander PCs, as well as Goat Locker Racing as well.
All right. Well, thank you again, Logan. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right. That was Logan Sturgeon. Well, I guess we have our last third place finisher here.
Joseph McWhorter, this is Jake Lanky in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
You two had it again. There was another great close battle between you and Whitley all through the first part of that race. What happened at the pit cycle that ended up putting you guys behind?
Uh, somebody threw or somebody calls the yellow during the pit cycle. Ended up for some reason, even though we had left pit road before people had passed us, and for some reason, iRacing decided to let everybody by us that was behind us when we pulled off pit road, which made no sense. So we had to let like the 62 by and the 50 and a bunch of other people. So instead of us starting like fourth or fifth, we ended up starting like latter half of the top 10 or outside the top 10, wherever it was. So then we just got mired in traffic and we couldn't stay green, lost a bunch of laps that probably would have helped us since we had a little bit fresher tires than the guys in front of us. And there it is. 2 weeks in a row.
Yep. Well, you both picked it up toward the end there. That final sequence on the white flag lap. Take me through take me through your thought process with the two of you trying to tag team going up to the front there.
Um, I don't know what happened behind me because Craig was behind me, and on that last restart, Craig didn't get a good start. Mark jumped down in behind me somehow, and then it was just trying to play defense against him while also playing offense against the guys in front of me. We were able to get around the 16 and I don't remember who it was that restarted fourth, but got around everybody there and was able to chase down the 04 because the 04 was slower than Mark and I. I think he had a decent amount older tires than we did, or at least it felt that way. And he just slammed the wall out of one and sent me careening towards the inside wall, and then death ensued out of three between Mark and a couple others. And I tried to miss it, and I slid down and blew the whole front end off my race car, and just barely limped across the line to finish third. I think it was Jamie that was gaining on me coming across the line there, but we were able to just limp across. Yeah, just frustrated. It's been a lot of races in several different leagues now where it's just late race cautions that cost me a win, and it's frustrating, especially whenever it's a place like Pocono that I really, really enjoy, and I had this circled on my list all season long to, race at, and we did such a good job getting around Mark and saving tires. So, just frustrated.
Well, nonetheless, it doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile. You got that P3, got that podium going into the playoffs. You got them. You got solid cushion going into the last few rounds here. Who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium?
Yeah. Am I points leader right now? Do you guys know that?
I believe the current leader is Jonathan Cofield with 3 wins.
Okay. I wasn't sure on who was the points leader right now going into it because I think we do bonus points. That would be kind of important to know. But yeah, I want to thank Outlier Speedco. They got amazing setups. Been really, really fast the last couple weeks. They've been doing a really good job. We just locked ourselves into the Final Four in Full Length Cup or Full Length Challenge. I mean, so really good job, Johnny and the boys over there for putting on some really good race cars. So go check them out at Outlier Speedco. You can also check out the link in the description below on this broadcast for Outlier Speedco and go get you some setups. 29 Graphics, check them out on Trading Paints at 29 Graphics. Red Camel Racing, anything that you need for a race weekend, fire suit, shoes, helmets, they've got it. Go check them out at redcamelracing.com. You guys for putting on the broadcast. Drivers for a good race, the admins for the hard work, and on to next week.
Yep. Thank you for your time. Good finish tonight. We'll see you at Dover.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, that was our third place finisher there, Jacob. And like you just mentioned, we're at Dover next week. I'm kind of excited about that. Dover is a great place to race. I love racing there, both tonight and next week. I'm really going to look forward to calling Dover next week with you.
Yes, indeed. It is going to be a fun one. Monster Mile always puts on one heck of a show.
Well, we got to thank our sponsors as we head out tonight. Want to thank Invets for being on board, helping vets in Indiana. Also, would like to thank Lincoln Tech, putting your potential to work, and Save 22, fighting first responder and veteran suicide. On behalf of myself and
Jacob Lanky, Eddie Smith, and Dougie Beard for providing those cameras. We'll see you next week. Thank you for your time.